here's the first point of the game. As you can see, here's the Saints on this side and their formation. Here's the outside hitter, and here's the setter. So here are the three back row players right here. They drop the outside hitter back so they can have three back row passers. The setter is up a little so she can get to the setting spot. Here is the opposite, and here is the middle. I just want you to watch. We can't do it because we don't have the experience yet, but they actually switch on the serve in the front row because they trust their passers. And as soon as the ball is contacted, you'll see the setter go to the setting spot, and the back row players are or the passers are trying to hit their target. We talk about that a lot, trying to hit a target. For our purposes, it's going to be hard for us to hit the target all the time near the net. We just want it if in the 10-foot area, 10 foot to the net area and in front of our hitters. If we can do that, we'll get a lot of hits. So I'm going to play it, and you'll watch them switch on the serve. So the outside hitter, as you can see, she made the pass, and here is the setter. And she sets it right back to her on the outside. Now, the libero is covering the block. So you can see that defending this 10-foot line, defending this area is so important. Libero comes up and plays the block up in the air. That's all she does, plays it up in the air back to her target, which is over here, and that's where the setter is. So here we go again. She hits the target, and it's a set to the outside. Pass to the target, setter. Okay, so let's look at this again, because this is something we want to start striving to do a little better. Our 6-2, if we still don't really have it down yet, and I feel we're about halfway. We still need to learn a lot more. So again, we're different. We will have the back row all three and the front row all three, so we can cover as much area as we can. But we still want to pass from, we still want our setter to come from the back row to the front row. So as soon as the serve comes to the back row, the setter's ready to get the set, and the pass is up in the air high enough to give time. And you can see they're switching. And right here, even before the setter sets it, you can see the hitters are all in a loaded position. And she's actually going to go, and you can see how far the outside hitter is in her loaded position. And you can, and she's going to go back to the outside hitter who actually passed it. So again, here's the hit. Libero comes up to cover the block, and just, again, high in the air to the setter. And you can see the players. Here's the outside, loaded, middle, out, opposite. They're all loaded. And here's the set, and they're all loaded, ready to go. And here's our back row, our back middle. And libero is going to be right, get her in left back spot. So here we go. And you can see they're all covering this area right here. There's the hit because of the block. They're all up to cover the block. And the ball actually goes over the block, and you'll see the Saints get in their alignment. Watch. So here we go. 3 at the net. Our setters right here play defense on the 10-foot line. Libero or left back, 10-foot line, and our middle back is back. And this is how we want it. And as the play unfolds, you can see that they know they're not going to hit it because this is actually the third hit. So the net players go back to the loaded position. This setter, although we want our setter to wait to actually play the ball, this setter is moving up to the setter spot to get the pass. So there are three hitters who are just at the net. Now they're again loaded up, and here's the setter. And the pass is pretty good. A little short, but not bad. At least it was in this area, in the 10-foot line and net area, and it was in front of our hitters. And there's the set to the middle, and the libero's up to protect the block. So here's another thing I want to talk about. For Gertrude, here's their setter. They run the 6-2 also. Here are their three blockers: libero, center back, setter. The setter, remember, we always want to protect this area. So the ball goes right in the center. Both of them are going to go for it. And actually, it's on the setter side. So all she does is pop it up. So as soon as the setter's out, their libero is their second setter. For us, our opposite is our second setter. So as soon as our setter is out, whether it's Ali or Sophia, then we want our opposite to become that setter. And so here's the setter out. Libero knows she's going to set the next ball. So she jumps right in, and the hitters move back because they trust that the libero is going to set that ball. So she's going to actually bump set it to the outside, and the hit's out. All right, on this point, here's our setter. Because she is rotated over, she starts here. Here's another back row, and the server is over here. Here's our middle, and I believe she's the outside. Yep. And there's the opposite over there. So as they're just watch this point, and we'll analyze it in a second. All right, so that was actually the second point of the game. So the very next point. So the serve comes, and you can see the Saints get in their defensive alignment. So here comes the serve, and here's our setter guarding the 10-foot line. Our server is coming right here to defend this 10-foot line. So you can see here are the three blockers. They're moving along the net and playing the setter, and to see which hitter she's going to set to. And here comes the libero to protect the block. Here we go. And she sets it to the opposite here. So when the opposite hits, or even the outside, here are two blockers. The middle is right there blocking, and here is our opposite, our outside hitter, I'm sorry. So our outside hitter, middle blocker, trying to block this. Here's our opposite defending this area right here. And we need our opposite or outside hitter to defend like this when they aren't blocking. Again, here's our left back defending the 10-foot. Here's our setter defending the 10-foot. And here's our back row center back defending her area. So here comes the hit, and it goes over the block. The opposite can't get it. So it's really important that this left back is not back here. She's up here defending this area. So she's actually maybe a step back, and that's why she had to dive, but she made a great save just to get the ball up, and our opposite knew that no one else could get it. So She just hit it straight in the air, and here's the third hit. The setter calls for it, and the setter just hits it over. So Gertrude sets it up, and they put it away. So that's how important it is to be able to get hits. St. Catherine's right there didn't get a hit it over, and that allowed Gertrude to smash one. So on this point, here's Taylor Meredith, the middle. So she's set up way wide because she's actually left of the outside hitter here, who's moved back to play to be a passer. Here's our setter, who is actually her rotational home is left back, and here is the opposite. And I think she's at home. So libero and a center back. So as the ball is served, you can see the setter goes right to the setting spot. And since the outside didn't get it, and the hitters are going to the hitting spot, and the outside should be going to her spot to load. Libero makes a good pass, and look, all three are loaded, all three are ready to hit. And it goes to the outside, and she hits it back over. She couldn't get a hit on it. So let's look at that defense here. So Gertrude is set up. As the ball comes over to Gertrude, that's the outside hitter defending that area. And right behind her is the libero. So she hits it up in the air, and there's the setter. And the setter is setting, and actually the outside hitter slides over to hit on the outside. So you're always moving. You've always got to go to your position after you play the ball. So here's the middle, here's the opposite. And so as Gertrude hits it, again, they're going opposite. And here are two blockers, and here is our opposite covering this area. And here are our back row defenders covering the 10-foot line and one in the back. Again, they're hitting outside there, two blockers. Here's our outside hitter blocking this area. It's really hard to hit a spike here. So there's no need to defend here. You've got to go defend here because this angle is doable. This angle is very, very difficult. And even if they are able to do that, we have a defender here. But she's moving up to back her up. And here's our setter right here. So she actually plays it. So she's in perfect position, the libero, and she hand passes it. And here comes our setter. Our setter should come up. Yep, she comes up and she plays a bump set, and she plays it high enough so the hitters can come back and load and then hit. And which the middle does, Taylor, and she puts it away. And they come together. Okay, in this clip, the Saints are serving. So they can move, so like the Saints here, the varsity team, we move on the serve. Here's Fielding serving it, and she's actually the setter. So she's gonna move to this spot here after she serves. Here's our libero, and she'll move to the left back, and here's our middle back. Now, the reason they're staggered like that is she is actually to the right of this player, so she needs to be over there. But she's up here, so she can just slide over 10-foot line. So when we set up, there's no need for us to be back here and then sprint up here. Set up near the line and then move over where you need to be. Here's the middle. This player is the opposite, and here's our outside hitter. So the three of them are going to switch on contact, and then they'll go right to the net to defend. Here we go. So there's the serve, and all three. Here's the opposite, middle, and outside. And here is libero, just moved from there, right there to defend. And our setter, who just served it, comes and defends her 10-foot line area. and here's the middle back. So again, serve, pass to the setter, pass to the outside. Here are our two blockers, middle and opposite. Opposite's very important to block. And here's our outside hitter covering behind them in this area. And here is the libero getting her angle. And here is the setter back here, and our middle back. So let's play this out. And again, it goes over here. Libero knows probably her tendency. That's two in a row, or two times she's hit it over here in the first, 6 points. So libero again hand passes it as high as she can. And the setter has to set in front of her hitters, but she can because the hitters have moved back to give her all this space to set them. When our hitters don't move, our setters don't have this space and area. So it's very important, just even if the pass is behind our hitters, to move back to the 10-foot line and load so she has room to set in front of you. So here comes the set to the outside. Again, Gertrude's doing the same thing. Two blockers. Here's their outside hitter defending, libero behind, the setter right up. And it's just too good. That was a very good kill.